not sure exactly where I'm gonna end up or where I want to end up, but I have been looking at a lot of different routes lately, and one of the routes that I have been looking at is working in nonprofit. And I think that the organization, the nonprofit organization that stands out to me the most would, at this time, would definitely be Guiding Eyes for the Blind. And Guiding Eyes for the Blind, just to talk a little bit about what it is and what they do. Guiding Eyes is a nonprofit organization, and what they do is they breed and train dogs to assist the visually impaired, mostly the visually impaired, sometimes, hearing impaired or people with other disabilities. If these dogs that they train do not end up being service dogs to the visually impaired, a lot of the times they'll go to other programs that help the community as well, like they'll become bomb or drug sniffing dogs, or they'll join what's called the Healing Autism program, which is when a dog is paired with a child with autism to help them to help them connect with the world and to help them bring out their personalities and help them come out of their own shell. So Guiding Eyes is located on the East Coast. They cover all states between Maine and North Carolina. And within New York, there's 10 different regions which have Guiding Eyes locations. The position that I'm talking about today is the regional coordinator, and what a regional coordinator does is they control all volunteer communication and participation. Because Guiding Eyes is a nonprofit organization, they rely heavily on volunteer participation. So the regional coordinator is an exceptionally important job within the organization. There's 6 different volunteer programs that we're going to talk about really quick. Just the first 3 here are all on-campus volunteer programs. Basically, the in-house volunteers can work anywhere in Guiding Eyes, from the office to the kennel, doing really whatever needs to be done. The early training and socialization program is when volunteers work with newborn puppies from birth to 6 to 8 weeks, who haven't been weaned from their mother yet, who are still in the whelping kennel. And kennel enrichment is when volunteers just keep the kennel clean and organized and work with the dogs within the kennel. The second 3 are off-campus volunteer programs. The home socialization program is when a puppy who has just left the whelping kennel at pretty much 8 weeks old goes home with a family for 3 to 5 days just to get used to being at home. Stairs and vacuums and any other things that they might find at home that they would not find in the kennel. The brood and stud foster, because Guiding Eyes breeds all of the dogs, they have dogs who need to be housed while they're pregnant, and so they have volunteers who foster those dogs, who have them live with them for 8 months, a year, 18 months, something like that. And the puppy raising program, which I'm trying to get involved in, I think it's probably the most important program that Guiding Eyes has, is when volunteers foster a dog prior to their Guiding Eyes official training. So from the time that they're 8 weeks old until they are about 12, 18 months, they live with a volunteer. And the volunteer teaches them, the very basic commands, the sit and the heel, and teach them how to learn, basically. This is just a quick timeline. The regional coordinator really works with the dogs before they go for their Guiding Eyes training. So these are all the programs that we talked about already. The regional coordinator really works with the dogs from birth until 18 months, with including all of these programs. So the regional coordinator for our region, the Westchester region, but also the Orange County and the New York City region, is Nicole Wheat, and she was nice enough to answer some questions for me. During our interview, I asked Nicole about the requirements for becoming a regional coordinator, and she said that a college degree is required. She did say that it wasn't necessary to have a degree in the animal field, but actually more important to have one that helps you deal with people, which I found interesting and pretty exciting actually, because I was hoping that I would have a job later that could allow me to work with people as well as animals. And interestingly enough, Nicole was actually a parole officer prior to working with Guiding Eyes, so she has a degree in both criminal justice and psychology. I asked Nicole about the best and the worst parts of her job, and she said the worst part is definitely the hours. Puppy raisers are fostering puppies, so they have them 24/7. If there's ever any problem, it could happen at 8 in the morning, it could happen at 2 in the morning, and Nicole is the person who has to deal with that. So because puppy raisers are working 24/7, Nicole is as well. She said the best part about working at Guiding Eyes, though, is the atmosphere. The way she described it, it sounds like a very unique atmosphere. You know, she brings her dogs to work with her every day, and there are dogs everywhere. It's an atmosphere that I don't think you could find in many other places. You know, it's an atmosphere where all the people there are there to do good, and I think that sounds like a very positive, very relaxing atmosphere. And as far as opportunities go within Guiding Eyes, you're not necessarily restricted to the position that you begin at. There's a lot of different options. The region supervisor, if I was looking for some sort of hierarchy, that would be the next step up from region coordinator. The region supervisor is just the one who controls the coordinators, allows them, tells them different programs and different techniques and how to deal with different issues. And then as far as routes go, there's really two main routes within Guiding Eyes: the administrative route, working in the offices, or working even higher than that for funding and for working, connecting with the government or with other people, with donors, or the training route, which is when you work with dogs after they've already been through the puppy raising program, so they're going into the official harness training, so you're really preparing them to be the guide dog that they're about to be. When I asked Nicole if she was looking for some sort of hierarchy, she said that she wasn't at this very moment, but she's always wanted to work with the harness training, so something she's always been looking at. So it feels good to know that I wouldn't be restricted to one position. That there's a lot of leg room for me to move around in. And as far as opportunities outside Guiding Eyes go, Guiding Eyes for the Blind is on the East Coast, but there's a lot of different organizations who have the same exact goal that are located in other places. These are only a few of them. I think working for a nonprofit is really cool because even though there are all these organizations that are doing the same thing, they're not necessarily competitors. They often work together, though they don't always follow the same exact plan. As far as training goes, they do share techniques often, and sometimes they even share dogs, if a dog would be better suited for a different place or a different situation. And so I'm sure that, if there came a time where I decided that this area wasn't for me, I'm sure I could there would be another place open to welcome me. So it's nice to know that there's a lot of different options for me. So I'm not necessarily settled on this route, but it's definitely an option for me to look at.